we are now going to get into the business as it relates to going contrary to what Mr. Wildman says, right? That if you born into a Commonwealth region, right, as a Commonwealth citizen, and you take allegiance, right, to another Commonwealth country, then you cannot, right, make a representation in the Parliament. Tonight, we are going to disapprove that. We are going to show Wildman that he's wrong. First, let us get to Wildman, right? And I know that this is an issue that, I mean, it is a no-burner, but we want to put it to rest. We want to put it to rest and show our people, right? And that's why I get the information, because I want my people to spread it and said, Wildman, you are wrong. You're totally wrong. Now, let us get into the Wildman situation, and then I bring in Herb where this is concerned. Now, this is Mr. Wildman. Pledging allegiance is the problem in the dual citizenship debate. You are dead wrong, sir. You are dead wrong. Now, let us move on. The issue of dual citizenship has been a topical issue in Jamaica for quite some time. And prominent attorney at law, Hugh Wildman, says the public must be aware that the Constitution of Jamaica is against the pledging of allegiance to a foreign state or power for those who want to be parliamentarians or senators. Well, you misquoted the Constitution, Mr. Wildman. When the Constitution speaks of foreign power, we are going to show you who the Constitution defines as foreign state or foreign power, right? Let us get into, so let us go down to show the section that he's quoting. Wildman, who is an expert on the Constitution, told the Gleaner on Tuesday, I think it is my duty to explain to the public how Section 39 and 40 of the Jamaican Constitution are to be interpreted. As according to him, he pointed out that Section 39 is the qualification section for one to be eligible to be elected to the lower house or to become a senator. This is what Section 39 says. The section stipulates that one is eligible to be elected to the House of Representatives or nominated to the Senate, which is the upper house, if one is a Commonwealth citizen and living in the country for 12 months before the election or nomination. In short, the Jamaican Constitution does not recognize Jamaican citizenship as the basis for election or nomination to the Parliament, he explained. Asked what the importance of that was. Wildman said it meant that if you were born in a Commonwealth country and came to Jamaica and lived in the country for at least 12 months prior to nomination, you are eligible to be elected or nominated to Parliament because you are a Commonwealth citizen, and that is right. Eligible. However, if you are born in Jamaica and go to another Commonwealth country and take out Canadian or British citizenship and come back to Jamaica and you want to be elected to the lower house or nominated to the Senate, you have to renounce the Canadian or British citizenship because you would have been disqualified under Section 40 of the Constitution. Mr. Wildman, you're misinterpreting the Constitution right here. Take it away, honey, and let us get to. So, yeah, take it away.
I took it away.
All right. So, Brother Herb, right? What you get from that? What is your understanding from that? Because we are going to get into some supported documents that go contrary to what Mr. Wildman said. So, what you get from that?
Sorry about that, folks.
Yes.
Yeah, haven't heard that and spoken directly to Wildman. Wildman made it clearly understood. There's nothing wrong with you if you are born a citizen of another country.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you if your parents took out a passport for you while being a citizen of that country. But something is wrong the minute you yourself go ahead and renew that passport.
Yes.
Saying at that point in time, you are swearing allegiance to another country.
Yes.
And that makes you disqualified from holding office on the island of Jamaica. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, you know that when it comes to U.S. citizens,
Yes.
they had settled that in court
Mm-hmm.
with Mr. Minister Vaz and Shahini Robinson and some others.
Yes. Bear in mind, Sir Herb, that they were American citizens. Bear that in mind.
American citizens, right. And I'm going to say, strangely enough, just this month, I believe, Colonel Charles Jr., who is a practicing attorney out of Orlando, Florida,
Yes.
has decided to give up his U.S. citizenship after being in the parliament
Yes.
for quite a while.
Yes.
At least 3 or to 5 years he's been
Yes.
in parliament.
Yes.
Right? So that's a situation where he has been uncovered by his own prime minister.
Yes.
I probably told he's going to have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
He was a well-serving minister. There was nothing wrong with his loyalties. There's nothing at all that you could find fault other than he might be in the wrong party.
Yes.
But the bottom line is he was forced to give up that citizenship. Now you look at Mark, and this prime minister is starting a conversation about Mark. And he has nothing on Mark.
Exactly.
Mark is Mr. Clean.
Exactly.
So he creates out of nothing something.
Yes.
Right? And it seemed to me he might have been talking to Mr. Wildman, because he is using the concept of renewing your passport to try and disqualify Mark, when in truth and in fact, nobody knows if Mark has ever renewed his British passport. And the fact that Mark was born in Jamaica, continues to reside there, and has no proclivities to go and join anything in the UK resembling a political organization,
Mm-hmm.
or has said a bad word about Jamaica
Yes.
in the UK, there's nothing that Mark has to worry about, because he is a good citizen of Jamaica.
Okay.
He's not a U.S. citizen.
Not a U.S. citizen.
And there was never a question raised about citizens of the Commonwealth who desire to run for office. They always said, oh, you come from New Zealand, you come from Australia, you come from wherever in the Commonwealth, India, Africa, in Ghana or Nigeria, and you can run for office in Jamaica after being resident for a year.
Exactly.
But Mark didn't come from England. He wasn't resident in England for any extended period, maybe visiting, but he's never once said anything other than him being a Jamaican. He's never subscribed to that, right? He's never had to subscribe to that.
All right. So Herb, what we are going to prove tonight to locally and in the diaspora, that even if Mark sworn allegiance to a Commonwealth country, he still can, right, be in the parliament, right, whether it is the lower house or the upper house pursue Prime Minister. We are going to prove that tonight with the supporting documents. But first,
which gives the foundation to that argument.
Exactly.
Because it's in writing, and maybe it was just simply overlooked by the esteemed attorney.
All right. So we are going to hear what a professor has to say, but the professor, right, is not the supporting document that I'm going to use. I am going to use a supporting document that tell us that from once you are a Commonwealth citizen, you have Commonwealth and umbrella protection to be in the Parliament if you want to be. We are going to show that document and rest the argument with Mr. Wildman tonight. So let us go to the wrong Kamala.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Do you wish to say anything? If not, then we can just move to the next
document. Man, go to the document. I'm looking to see the document. I agree with everything that Herbie has said. Exactly. So we can go to the document now.
Let us proceed to the document.
Thank you, Kamala.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Kamala, I'd put something in the private chat for you too. So you
all right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Wrong target. Professor urges constitutional fix amid dual citizenship. Cas. Onus draws flack for joining a bubble. All right. So now this is Dr. Christopher Charles describing the furor over opposition leader Mark Golding British citizenship as Cas. And yes, it is Cas. Professor. University of West Indies, Professor Dr. Christopher Charles says he's alarmed, right, by Prime Minister Andrew Holness has joined the talk even though there is no constitutional breach. Let us repeat that. There is no constitutional breach. Get that, Mr. Wildman. Let us move on. He questioned why the Constitution has not been amended to deal with the matter after more than a decade and why Jamaicans have not pressed legislators to do so. In open court, we need to decide as a country what we want, but I am not going to criticize any politician, whether in the PNP, People's National Party, or JLP, Jamaica Labour Party, who have Jamaican citizenship and citizenship in another Commonwealth country because they are constitutionally protected.
Amen.
Amen. The professor of the political and social psychology said, and we are going to show the supporting documents.
Byron, I want you to emphasize what this gentleman's post is again. Just go through that again. Repetition for emphasis, my brother. What is this post again?
Thank you, my dear. Let us do open quote and close quote. Open quote. We need to decide as a country what we want. But I am not going to criticize any politician, whether in the PNP, People's National Party, or JLP, Jamaica Labour Party, who have Jamaican citizenship and citizenship in another Commonwealth country, because they are constitutionally protected under the umbrella of Commonwealth. Amen. And who is this person? Who is this person? Yes. Let us see the person's status, the professor of political and social psychology.
Professor of political.
Okay.
We want to get that, and that we want to emphasize. The man is a professor of political science.
Okay. So
am I going to argue with him?
All right. Thank you, Kamala. If we change that and change it to say you should only have Jamaican citizenship to be eligible to run for political office, then we expect all of them to comply, and they have to comply. Until then, I am not into the cas and unnecessary talk, which we have been saying, Kamala, which we have been saying, Maria, that, you understand, we don't see the reason why we are about this, because there is no argument, you understand, to all here, right? And this professor is also saying the same thing. And I am alarmed that the Prime Minister, right, the worthless Prime Minister, whose statutory declaration has not been declared, and trying to push these smoke screens, try to muddy up the water to avoid us from speaking in relation to his statutory declaration that has not been certified, in speaking of his illicit enrichment, in speaking of the illicit sex. And so then all of what been going around as it relates to reforming and reconstructing the Constitution, to put in clause in the Constitution for them to have a getaway card. It is not going to work, because guess what? We found out what they are going to do and we called them out. And so then Andrew Holness, right, is now trembling because his last hope has been shattered. His last get out of jail free card has been shattered by Mark Golding. And that is the truth of the matter. Let us read on. Until then, I am not into the cascas and unnecessary talk. And I am alarmed that the Prime Minister could be making statements about the leader of the opposition when he is operating with his constitutional rights to have British and Jamaican citizenship. Said, Charles, take that away. I am not even going to go any further because I want to go to the supported documents. Right? Now, I am going to give you two supported documents, Mr. Wildman. Right? Yes. To set you straight as a matter of your interpretation, sir. Your interpretation of the law is totally wrong. So the professor, right, disagree with you. The professor of political science disagree with you. But not only the professor disagreed with you, the Constitution of Jamaica disagreed with you. And I am going to show you another supported document, right, that totally disagree with you. So let us, and this is it, we are only discussing this just to crush it tonight, that Mr. Wildman, I don't know if Andrew Wallace is talking to you to try to help him out. You can't help him out, Mr. Wildman. There's no way you can help him out. Let us go to, right, the political representation Jamaica, right? We are going to go to the Constitution, right, and bring up that, and we are going to read it with the level of understanding and interpretation as it relates to the law. You want the passport? Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's one, is it?
Yeah.
Because it's not going to show me what that.
All right. Let us get to the Constitution. Right? Dual citizenship and political representation in Jamaica. Let us get to it now, Mr. Wildman. The issue. Section 40, subsection 2 of the Jamaican Constitution specifies that no person shall be qualified to be appointed as a senator or elected as a member of the House of Representatives who A, is by virtue of his own act under any acknowledgement of allegiance, obedience, or adherence to a foreign power or state. Now, the operative word, Mr. Wildman, is a foreign power or state. Let's go further, Mr. Wildman. It is important to know, though, that Section 39 of the Constitution specifies that a foreign power, Mr. Wildman, are you there, is a non-Commonwealth country. Let us go back to Section 40 because I take time with you, Mr. Wildman. I take time with you. Let us go back to Section 40 and give you the awareness. no person shall be qualified to be appointed as a senator or elected as a member of the House of Representatives who A, is by virtue of his own act under any acknowledgement of allegiance, obedience, or adherence to a foreign power or state. Let us look who the Constitution identify under the definition as a foreign power or state. Come on, Mr. Wine. It is important to note, though, that Section 39 of the Constitution specifies that a foreign power is a non-Commonwealth country. Citizens of Commonwealth countries who have been resident in Jamaica 12 months are thus eligible to sit in Parliament. Other Caribbean countries have similar laws governing the appointment and election of members to the House of Representatives and the Senate in Section 48, subsection 1 of the Trinidad and Tobago Constitution. There is a similar clause related to the election of a member of the House of Representatives. Other similar clause of the Caribbean Constitution include St. Vincent, subsection 26, subsection 1, Guyana 155, subsection 1, St. Kitts and Nevis, right? And all these that being pointed out here, Mr. Wildman, they are Commonwealth.
Byron, all Commonwealth countries have the same rules because we inherited all of the rule them from our former colonizers.
Okay. And
so
here
all of the
goes
Commonwealth
down,
countries have it.
yes, here it goes down to the open and closed quotation again in emphasizing that no person shall be qualified to be appointed as a senator if at the date of his appointment is by virtue of his own act under any acknowledgement of allegiance, obedience, or adherence to a foreign power or state. And let us go back up here. Who is identified as a foreign power and state? It is important to note, Mr. Wildman, though that Section 39 of the Constitution specifies that a foreign power is a non-Commonwealth country. Argument done with you tonight, and I'm going to give you the supported documents now that we are talking about. But before, let us go to the panel.
Now, what I'd note is that when we brought that up, what he simply said is that Section 40
yes
overrides Section 39.
Yes.
Right? It is not subject to 39. It overrides it. So,
okay. So hold on, sir. The document that I am going to show next.
But when you read Section 40, but when you read Section 40, it actually still says that the Commonwealth, it considers Commonwealth citizens not foreign. It literally says that.
Yes,
go back to it a second in Section 40.
Yes, it says that. Bring up the document, Mr. Earl.
Hold that line.
Bring up the document. Yeah. So it says that clearly. So I don't understand Mr. Wildman's interpretation. It's just okay.
Okay, now
this is.
It is important to note that Section 39 of the Constitution specifies that a foreign power is a non-Commonwealth country.
Okay.
All right. Now
all
that's good. Now further down. Go down to no person. Bring it up a little bit more.
Go down?
Yeah. All right. Stop there.
Yes.
Where it says no person shall be qualified to be appointed as a senator if at the date of his appointment he Boleg 8 is by virtue of his own act under any acknowledgement of allegiance, obedience, or adherence to a foreign power or state.
Yes, that's define what a foreign power is.
But it already defined what a foreign power is.
I hear you. Right.
Is it that you want to take each in isolation and there is no connection because it's one constitution?
That's what he was doing.
No,
but that don't make no sense. That can't make sense.
That can't
Not
happen.
reason with understanding. If him thinks you can take one section in total isolation of another section in one.
Exactly.
That don't
You see
make no
why we
sense.
have
Yeah.
Kamala here?
That's precisely what he's doing, taking it in isolation.
He's wrong, sir.
Him wrong till him can't wrong no more. And listen to me. No disrespect to Mr. Wildman, but there's enough constitutional cases him lose in court. PNP never lose no constitutional case where them take JP to court yet for. Wildman lose couple well. So you need to sit this one out.
Okay, yeah, so let me see the people. Yes. So let me say this to Mr. Wildman. When he is reading and interpreting, you understand, he has to process it correctly. But not only that, I am going to show him tonight as it relates to the supported documents. You understand that whether you're born in any Commonwealth country, right, and you swear allegiance to another Commonwealth country, right, you have umbrella protection, right, as it relates to, you understand, the Commonwealth laws. Yes. So before we move on, Maria.
Miss Daisy.
Yes, I'm here. You know,
Yeah.
I'm listening to you read the document, and I'm thinking to myself that all the constitutional scholars, legal scholars, have come out, and even Darrell Vaz, who says it's on a moral ground that he's objecting to Mark Golding's citizenship, British passport situation. They have all said he did not violate the Constitution. How then can they be trying to quantify, justify, and that part I don't understand. Because if he did not violate the Constitution, what then is the argument?
I can answer you, Miss Daisy.
Yes, right, man. Yes, Kamala.
Because they realize that their argument about moral is not going anywhere. So now they're trying to listen. You don't realize that them goalposts keep changing. Because
but Kamala, stick a pin right there, Kamala. Stick a pin right there. You said, now Darrell Vaz, who brought up the word morality.
Yeah.
Now the truth of the matter is, Darrell Vaz and the word moral, the name Darrell Vaz and the word morality should never be in the same sentence.
Exactly.
So true.
The name Andrew Holness should never, and morality should never be in the same sentence. So when they are talking about, especially Darrell Vaz, it's a morality issue. No. It's the rule of law. Did this man violate the rule of law? Did he violate the Constitution? You say no, he did not. No, and everybody who talks about it says, you know, the Constitution gives him the right to do that. The story is finished. There's no conversation to be had.
Exactly.
No conversation to be had.
No, them switch the goalposts now because they realize that them not get nowhere with the argument there. Now they're trying to convince people that it is constitutionally, there is an issue with it constitutionally.
Yes.
But there's no new constitution. They're trying to reform the constitution. But how can you be asking the fox to watch the hen house?
But apart from Hugh Wildman, you know, I hear that Abe Dabdub also came on nationwide to argue the government's case.
Mm-hmm.
But Abe Dabdub, like I said, you know, when these people are talking about morality, you know, they really should think long and hard about the meaning of the word before they use it, because it doesn't apply in this situation. We are talking about the Constitution and the rule of law. Did he violate it? No. Then we have no conversation. There's no conversation to be had here.
No.
However, there are situations and there are conversations to be had about the government paying how much billion dollars to retrofit a building that they're already paying, an empty building that they're paying $400 million per month for in rent. Those are the things. So they come up with these things to distract people from the real issues affecting Jamaican people. Now, you know, everybody interprets the law their own way. But like I said before, most persons making the argument have all agreed Mark Golden did not violate the Constitution. He's well within the rights of the Constitution to do that. If you have a problem, like Professor Charles said, change the thing. Change the thing.
Yes.
That's all. Change it. You have not changed it, so what's the problem?
Exactly. And it is written there, right? The Constitution define, right, what the Constitution is identified as a foreign power or state. It clearly defines that. A foreign power, right, or state, or whatever is a non-Commonwealth entity. So then, what Wildman want to have in his head? It clearly stated that a foreign power or a foreign state is a non-Commonwealth entity. But now, let me use the supported documents now, you understand, and rest the argument whether to Wildman or Dabdoob who want to try to, you understand. I don't know if Andrew Honest promised Mr. Wildman that he's going to be the DPP. If Paula Llewellyn, which Paula Llewellyn is not going to be successful.
In promising something get promised, something not right.
Exactly. So I don't know if he promised him to be the DPP. And this is now which part, you understand? Prior to this, I used to be vying for him to be the DPP, not anymore.
No. In track record, not too bossy, Him go there and try to take on the authority, but him track record lacking.
And what people need to understand as well, that Mr. Wildman himself, right, had challenged this case, I think, in either Antigua or Trinidad. You understand? And was not successful.
That's what I'm saying. Him track record not too bossy. Him lose it's a whole heap of cases him lose, man. Him not too sound pan the law, because him take up a lot of cases, yes. But him track record not too bossy.
Exactly. So I mean, something seems like it's unwired there.
Yeah, man.
All right, let us use this supported documents and wired what is unwired in his cranium. All right, let us go to the supported document. Come on.
Okay.
Same thing them doing to us over here.
All right. Let us show this to the world, people. And we are not going to be speaking about this again, You understand? We are just going to leave this dead because this is dead. This is a no-burner issue. This is a nothing burger, right? So then, let us talk about here. When we do our research, we do our research quite properly. Commonwealth, a free association of sovereign states comprising the United Kingdom and a number of its former dependencies who have chosen to maintain ties of friendship and practical cooperation and who acknowledge the British monarch as symbolic head of their association, which Jamaica did. Establishment. The Commonwealth was an evolutionary outgrowth of the British Empire, contemporaneous with its shedding of mercantilist philosophy. The empire began implementing responsible government, that is, a system under which the governor could act in domestic matters only upon the advice of ministers enjoying the confidence of elected chamber in parts of Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and Ireland in the mid to late 19th century. These dependent but self-governing states attain growing measures of sovereignty, and their autonomy was subjected only to a British veto. The Imperial Conference in 1926 declared that such states were to be regarded as autonomous communities within the British Empire, equally in status. Get that? Equal in status, in no way subordinate one to another in any aspect of their domestic or external affairs, though united by a common allegiance. Let me read that over back. Let me read that back over. Right? The Imperial Conference of 1926 declared that such states were to be regarded as autonomous communities within the British Empire, equally in status, in no way subordinate one to another in any aspect of their domestic or external affairs, though united by a common allegiance to the crown and freely associated as members of the British Commonwealth of Nations. You hear that, Mr. Wildman? The Statute of Westminster 1931 implemented the decisions made at both that at a subsequent conference, formally allowing each dominion to control its own domestic and foreign affairs and to establish its own diplomatic corps. Let us go on. For a period after promulgation of the Statute of Westminster, membership in the Commonwealth came on condition of allegiance to the British monarch. But the rapid growth of nationalism from the 1920s in parts of the empire with chiefly non-European populations required a reconsideration of the nature of the Commonwealth. India, as what Kamala spoke about earlier, in particular, had been a special case within the British Empire. By title and empire in its own rights, it had a viceroy, a separate secretary of state in London, its own army, and even to a certain degree, its own foreign policy. When India and Pakistan were granted independence in 1947, they became what? Members of the Commonwealth. In 1949, India announced its intention to become a republic, which would have required its withdrawal from the Commonwealth heads of government in London. In April 1949, it was agreed that India could continue its membership if it accepted the British crown as only the symbol of the free association of Commonwealth members. That declaration was the first to drop the adjective British, and thereafter the official name of the organization became what? The Commonwealth of Nations, or simply the Commonwealth. India's grant of independence was the first in a long series of grants, and as former dependency attained sovereignty, Commonwealth membership grew dramatically in the second half of the 20th century. Most of the dependent states granted independence chose Commonwealth membership. Like India, many opted not to recognize the crown as head of state. In 1995, Mozambique became the first country granted entry that was never part of the British Empire or under control of any member. Rwanda, also never part of the British Empire, joined in 2009. Some states became independent and rejected membership, such as Burma, Myanmar in 1948. The Commonwealth was also beset by some members opting to withdraw from the organization, as did Ireland, right, in 1949, South Africa 1961, and Pakistan 1972, though both South Africa and Pakistan eventually rejoined the former in 1994 and the latter in 1989. In addition to independent members, the Commonwealth also comprises dependent territories which are formally governed by the United Kingdom, Australia, or New Zealand. Most of the older dependencies are colonies. Dependents include Anguilla, Bermuda, the Cayman Islands, the Falkland Islands, Gibraltar, and the Turks and Caicos Islands, United Kingdom, Christmas Island and the Cocos Island, the Coral Sea Island and the Norfolk Island, Australia and and Tokulu, New Zealand, the United Kingdom has followed a policy of leading the dependencies towards self-governing by creating territorial governments in them. These governments comprise a lawmaking body, often called the Legislative Council, an executive body called the Executive Council, right, which with the governor is the executive authority and an independent judiciary. So these people are not prevented, you understand, from participate, right, into, you understand, their parliament. At first, government posts are appointed, but an increasing elected element is introduced as constitutions are altered until elected officials are made wholly responsible for local affairs. After a colony achieves internal self-government, its legislation may apply to the British Parliament for complete independence. It then decides whether to remain in the Commonwealth. Right, so take that away. So let us go to the panel. So let me start with in all of that, what we have read, it is showing us the umbrella protection of the Commonwealth and how the Commonwealth protect, right, and where it gives accessibility to anyone in the Commonwealth. And so then when the Constitution, the Jamaica Constitution, speaks definitely in identifying a foreign power or a foreign state, it doesn't mean anyone in the Commonwealth country.
Right.
Tell me what you take away from this document.
Well, you know, if I was looking for foundation, I found it.
Exactly.
Because this is how it breaks it down minutely as to what the Commonwealth is, how it was put together, how it broke, and how it came back together again, right?
Exactly.
And that it's very firm in saying that they're not a foreign power. They're not. That's simple. Yeah. So I really and truly appreciate reading that in black and white and dating it all the way back, I think, to 1926.
You're perfectly right.
Yeah. And so what else would Andrew Michael Holness need to convince him that he doesn't know what he's talking about?
Exactly.
Whoever stuck that idea in his head was trying to say that, oh, we are made up differently than everybody else in the Commonwealth.
No.
Right? I just don't see. What I see is that they would like to reinvent the Commonwealth in this case. And what they're going to do, they're going to try to do it with the new constitution.
Amen. But you know what the irony of the situation is, Herbie?
Yeah.
Andrew Holness just pushed his Minister of Foreign Affairs to assume the role of the General Secretary of the Commonwealth.
Yep.
Because what they ended at, you know.
Can you
the Commonwealth, but he was trying to get Kamina
up there, right?
The Commonwealth. Suppose she did win. When would I say?
This is what I was going to ask you. What if she had won? We would be in for a long haul.
Oh, yes.
They would have taken us round the bowl. It would have shown them hypocrisy even more. It would have shown them hypocrisy even more. That's what it would do, in my opinion.
Well, it's showing it up now anyway. Because when he comes out with that serious face,
yes,
just the way he tore down, what's that other politician he tore down when he built the stall for the Azan, Richard Azan, right? He tore down Richard Azan in the same fashion. And he's trying the same thing with the leader of the opposition. right?
Yes.
But it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And you know what? Maybe it's a good thing the people of Jamaica have programs like this that they can listen to, that they can sit in on, and don't get fired up. Don't let them pump them full of hot air
Exactly.
and get them too excited, right? Because
Amen.
this
Amen.
is
Amen.
telling them like it is.
Exactly. Thank you. You finished, sir, or you want anything you want to explain?
I didn't want to get ahead of you, because I mentioned something a while ago, what they're trying to do with the Constitution,
Yes.
and you know, when they tear down one thing and they use a false narrative like he's utilizing to tear down an individual, I would like to see more comeback and just break it down in the same fashion and tell the Prime Minister he needs to stop what he's doing,
Exactly.
because what he's doing, he's destroying the fabric of what a nation is by
I'd like to play a
introducing.
video for you. I don't know if you've seen it, but I haven't heard any of you discussing it, or I don't know if you didn't have access to it. But I want you to listen to this that I'm gonna play right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Play come.
This is Mark Golding, President of the People's National Party and Leader of the Opposition. I was born in Jamaica. I grew in Jamaica. I have only ever worked in Jamaica, and I'm not leaving Jamaica, land we love. And I can tell you, I am not one of the illicit six. And my statutory declarations to the Integrity Commission have been certified and published for all years through to and including 2022, and my declaration for 2023 was filed in time by the March deadline in accordance with the law. God bless you all.